Hey folks, welcome back to my Bonsaiverse. I'm Taco, and this is one of the trees I'm working on. This is a Ficus benjamina, I believe, but I could be wrong on that. I'm really not that good with it. So there's a couple things it could be, but to me it's one of my trees, and that's the most important thing. I'm going to be repotting it today. It's been in this pot for quite a while. It's a composite pot. I'll try to show you. I hadn't really decided where the front was going to be, but I think it might end up being somewhere around there. There's two things that I think are going on with a lot of my trees. One, I'm overwatering them, partially because of drainage. And two, I think my soil is too basic. I'm getting very alkaline soil, which these leaves indicate. Uh, I didn't realize it, but when you get very alkaline soil, you can get a lack of iron being absorbed. So now my goal is going to be to, yep, there's another one coming off. It may just be from adjusting to indoor light. It's hard to see that. But you'll get the yellowing of the leaves and you'll still have the distinct green veins. I don't believe I have any real issues with pests with this tree, unless you consider me to be a pest, and I am. But yeah, this one's kind of stuck through it all. It's doing good. I had put a spider in it just to make sure I had a spider taking care of it, but I don't see him in there anymore, so I'm not as worried. I don't know that I'll do any topside pruning because again, it's growing nicely. It doesn't have that much foliage on it that I'm worried about any kind of lack of absorption of water because I don't want to do a lot of root pruning. I just want to get it healthy. And I'll get you guys zoomed in so we can dive in. Here we go. I'm going to pull this off. So that I can, oops, have an easier time getting this out of the pot. So I'm going to use this like I did last time to kind of collect the soil. So some of the stuff on top is good, but I think it's easy to see that, ooh, more leaves coming off. It's quite compacted underneath, and that's just not what I want. So this one may have already gone way beyond where it should have been repotted. No leaves there. Not that it matters, but I don't want to put the leaves back into my supply, have them create issues. This is all good soil in here. All right, let's see if I can get this thing off. Had lots of drainage, but it's kind of a funny pot. So it might have actually gone in through the double wall of this pot. It's coming. Not quite. All right, I'm going to use my little spatula for this. It's quite tight in there, which either means there's some other mistakes I made, or it means that it's just grown really nicely. If it's grown through the pot, cool. This pot's going in the trash anyways. It's not composite, sorry, resin. So if it has been grown through the pot, I just need to address that anyways. The pot was a little more tree-like. Sorry, it's kind of migrating on me here. In fact, I should make sure you guys are looking at the tree correctly, aren't I? Yeah, we'll leave it right there. That's good. All right. Yeah, it's kind of migrating on me because this is wobbly. It's not meant to be a catch-all for soil. All right. Going all the way around. Now let's see if it will let go. Oh, it is. Oh, yes. All right. Cool. Well, came out incredibly cleanly. So you can see not bad for drainage, not regular by any means, but not bad. So I'll put this to the side for now. And I'm quite pleased. It looks like this has grown quite well through the soil. The soil's not that bad. I've got some bigger roots in here, but I'm really impressed with this. I had issues with this tree not growing good roots, so I'm hoping it's not just a facade and this actually has good roots on it. Of course, I'm trying not to tear any while I pull this off. That'll again get kind of saved in there. And yeah, not upset with that. That's a nice shallow root ball. I'm going to get my rake out and start raking it out. Now, I was thinking about the other day. I think I've had moss, and again, I'm just blabbering. So if you just want to watch me fix bonsai stuff, go ahead and mute it. That's cool. I was realizing that I'd had moss, not intentionally, but unintentionally, and I never really thought of how I know when to water it. I was curious if someone could give some insight there. Do you wait till the moss looks a little dry and then water? Especially in something like this, it would be kind of cool to put some moss on it, but I feel like it's not just a show thing so much as it would help with surface roots. I just wouldn't even begin to understand how I'm supposed to water it once I get moss on top. I'm really happy with this so far. I wonder it's looking so good compared to some of the other ones. It's got great roots. All right. I'm hoping you folks can see what's going on here. I'm kind of tilting the thing. Not trying to be unbalanced or hide what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make it so it's easy to see. Hopefully you're seeing more of the tree and less of me, because that's kind of the idea. So I'm very pleased already with how these roots look. It looks like I've gotten some progress that I had not anticipated. Now the soil is pretty moist. That's good. The roots are in pretty good shape. I might not completely bare root it. I might just do the surface like this, and then maybe just make sure that I've taken care of like this big root here. This needs to be terminated there. I could have done that on the surface. I just thought there was bigger issues in here, but honestly, I don't see many issues at all. And I don't always have to bare root all my trees. This one's kind of young. It's been a couple years, so maybe that's why. But these roots look pretty darn good. All right, I'm at the point now where I've got to either stop and spray it, or I've got to, well, I should stop and spray it soon. Let me get a little further in on this spot right here. I think that's my only real problem area. Yes, guys. Getting pretty darn good. Oh. And then a big clump of the roots are falling out here. Okay, that says to me that they're not as radial as they appeared. So I probably do have to bare root this whole thing. Shoot. Or get close to it at least. All right. Not what I really wanted to do, but or not really the result I want, I should say. I anticipated bare rooting it. I'm losing some roots, which tells me it's too dense anyway, so it's a good thing I'm doing this. It's a very, you folks can't see much. It's very, it's one of my first houseplants that I currently still have, I should say, one of the oldest houseplants I currently still have, so of course I don't have any particular huge amount of work in this thing, but it's certainly a huge improvement from when I first got it. It's not quite a bonsai. All right, I'm going to go on the bottom here too and comb these out. You just won't be able to see very well. I don't really have anything growing straight down. That's good. Just a couple longer ones. All right. Ooh. All right, I'm going to get away to spray this, and I'll be back. Give you guys a little pause while I do that, okay? All right, folks, I'm back. Got just a little bit of water, just to make sure my roots aren't too dry. Of course, it's not the best spray container, but hey, as long as it works, right? As long as it works. All right, so there's two spots I really have to focus on. It's right here, which to me at least looks pretty good. I don't want to mess with it too much because it looks like it's pretty, well, it's developing well. Got some roots that are kind of funky, but aside from that, it looks good. I think the two, has these two bigger sort of trunk roots here. I think they've started to fuse, which is what I wanted anyways, because it'll form a much better kind of platform for the tree. Now, this over here, I hadn't forgotten, but I hadn't thought about it really. It is not really a good root. This is like a long straight one. I think it was part of the tree they bent over, whatever, stake. So I've got some surface roots here, but there's like a trunk down below that I think I need to get rid of before it gets too far. My only concern is, of course, making sure I've got enough healthy roots before I do something like that. So it's hard to kind of tell, but there's two planes of roots. There's this one on this side, which is all from this back root here, or I guess side root. And then this one, which is over here. Now, I'd cut quite a bit of it off, but it's solid almost all the way down to here. And I want to address that. I don't want to have that continuing. So I think what I'm going to do, while I've got this one feeding, is I'm going to try to trim this back quite a bit. Maybe cut it. Yeah, it's just that stuff. It's on the back. Maybe I should just leave it. I might just take this top one off, cut it back slightly, and leave it. So I'm going to get my clippers for this. Hopefully you all can still see. And I'm going to kind of go after in here. See if I can't just get it smaller. So a lot of roots came with that, but I don't think it's even far enough. I'll come even farther. So you can see there's some roots there, but not most of it. I think I really need to get aggressive on this thing, and I don't really want to. We'll thicker ones off now. I've got this one here. All right, I think I'm going to be kind of bold. You know, maybe I shouldn't. And take all the roots off of this part. Hard to see, but a big old chunk of roots coming off. All the way back to there. So now you can see a little better that most of the roots are on this side. I will have to tie this one in, but this one, it was just roots on the bottom of a weird shaped root. I can try planting this. It might actually grow, and that would be interesting. But that's a whole other thing. In the meantime, of course, I should mist both if I want any plans for anything. I've got to make sure they're all still nice and moist. So those are good. I might plant that. That might work. All right, and all this has got to come off. So I'll go through this later. Just to get it out of the way for now. That was pretty bold. I don't think it was an easy one for me to do. And on that note, I was going to put into this. It may not be the best one for the current root structure, but I think considering that needed to be done, it might have been the best one for this root structure. I will need to put some tie downs in here. So I'm going to pause you folks while I get some wire. All right, hopefully you all are unpaused. And I apologize if it starts doing something funny with the zoom here. It did do that a while back, but hopefully it's not. I got a piece of wire that's longer than my pot, and I'm going to feed it through a couple of these holes to give me a decent, at least, anchor. So what I'm doing is feeding it through one, feeding it through another, and I might do that again to make sure that I've got a good, missing some words here, anchor for this thing. There's no real front to this pot since it's round and very, very mass produced. So my goal is going to be more to get it just so that I've got a tie down on the good roots it does have. All right, Kind of rough at the pot, maybe not the best idea. Okay, worst things have happened, right? All right. There we go. All right, will that be enough to hold it in? I certainly hope so. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. And now that we're this far, I'll do a little snip on the roots just to... My left hand is not as coordinated as my right hand. Just to make sure this is not growing too far down. I think everything else is pretty good. Just mass out of there. Some of this is from the other trunk. Some of this roots that looks like there are left. And I'll grow in the best directions, but for now I think that's all I can kind of get away with. So what I gotta do is I gotta get roots out of that. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I got. So I'm going to put a base layer of soil in here. So it's got some to sit on, and then I'm not putting roots down into Nowheresville. It's funny how when you're checking out roots on a tree that you can go from I really like that to I really don't like that very quickly. All right, I think it's going to be like this. Right? That's the front actually, so yeah, we'll put it like this. Don't want it to be falling over anything, but I need it lower than that. Put it down here. Let me make sure all my roots are going in every direction they can, even though they're not the final roots in the tree. They're all it's got right now. So, of course, the ones in the back aren't as important as the ones in the front because those will be eventually trimmed off. But for now, they do kind of exist. So that is something. I'm going to give this a just preliminary tie-in. Let's see if I can't do a little prop up here. Ooh, precarious. All right. And I've got to load quite a bit of soil into here. Now I mixed a little bit less perlite in today, simply from an aesthetics point of view. It may not be the right move, but I didn't like how white my soil looked when I had it the other way. And it may just be that I've got a huge amount of contrast in my soil, which is just contrast in soil. But yeah, I decided that wasn't my goal, is to have it like that. Now, if I had a little rock, I might tuck it under there, and I might have one. I'll look behind me real quick and see if I got a little rock I can tuck under there and keep it from going down to the point where it causes issues. Because really, I don't want to have it. Yep, I have a little rock. Now this is not a rock for anything other than just keeping that trunk a little bit up. Hopefully it will allow roots to grow around it. Again, the very big goal is to get roots around, not through. The rock itself will block any vertical roots. Not that that's the only intention of it. It's hold the tree up so it doesn't fall over. Now, I'm probably going to have to move all these trees in a couple weeks here. So this will be an interesting one to move when it's got new roots. I'm really hoping that it thrives with the new soil in here. And I don't have the issue of it falling out. And I know it's tied in, but it's only tied in on half. That is not the main anything for this tree. All right, I'm going to take it just another twist. Cut it off. Ooh, using the wrong part of these cutters, I guess. Well, there's one side. Or rather, they're just not sharp enough to go through two. I usually use my trauma shears, but I didn't use them today. All right, so I need to start getting this stuff all tamped in. This is a funny one to Get all the sole worked in too, because it has so many different angles. So I apologize, I'm holding it so you can't see it. Yeah, this will be a funny one. I hope it makes it. I realized that I might have been too bold there, but I'm hoping that, by doing that at all, I saved the tree. It's a little off center too, which is fine. I really didn't want the tree to be completely centered. And it'll be interesting to get this out of the pot. I'll probably have to use the little palette fork, palette knife, whatever you want to call it. I think it's for oil painting. I'll probably use that again to get it out because it's such a, perched lip. It comes right back over, but we'll see. Get that mostly leveled out. And I'm going to try to get this packed in real good. Little miss to the roots here. Yeah, we'll just see how I do. Yeah, well, if anyone wants to put in the comments how to tell if your moss needs to be watered, that would be nice for me. So I can feel this actually being worked in, which is nice. Like under my fingers, I can feel it shifting and going down. That's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, it's what I want, but still, it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's an interesting sensation. Let's see, and I'll have to figure out if I need to put any or take any foliage off too. I'd cut one branch as just regular maintenance pruning not too long ago, and of course I'd done that again before a little while ago. But let's see where we're at. I think I can probably stop there as far as all the soil. I don't want to overflow the soil, so hopefully that is good. Take these roots and throw them on the kind of waste pile to be gone through. Done with this, put that away. In case anyone was curious, the tools I used today, I used my root rake, soul pick combo. Used a little bit of my pruning shears or branch cutters, twig cutters. I did use this briefly, just a little teeny tiny wire cutter. I usually use trauma shears. Use some secateurs for the roots because I didn't want to use my twig cutters on that any more than I had to. I also used my, let's see, I've got it in here somewhere. My little Artist Loft trademark palette fork. This is from Michael's, I think. I'll have to check, but they're really good. They work really well as a repotting blade, spatula, whatever you'd call it. So put all those things back in there. Might as well give it a spray, right? Just get it a little cleaned off. Another spray on this guy. I'm going to put it on top of the pile for now. And then, before I go too crazy, I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to clean this off. So when I water it in, I don't have to take all the dirty stuff off of it. So I'm going to pause for that and come right back. All right, I'm back. I got a little cleaned up, and I grabbed one of my favorite rocks. It's got a nice little nook in the top. I'll probably use this to keep it from falling over because it'll probably want to do that. But for now, it's time to just water it in and see how well this pot drains. So far, so good, Ooh, drains quite well, it looks like. So I drilled 4 holes in the bottom of this, 1 central hole and 3 around it. I think that was the right move. So I know that there will be issues with getting water all the way into these corners here. I'm not as concerned about that. More concerned with, ooh, this might be too big. That's all right, we'll put it right here. There. Just on the short term. I think it looks quite nice, even though I covered up that cool feature on the rock. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. Water the whole tree a little bit, right? Got some good fluids coming through. They look pretty clear. I'm kind of like triple sifting because I use the strainer scoop as well with my soil. All right, I'll put it up on a little turnstile and give you guys a, ooh, it's heavy, once over on it so you can see what we got. So I think, let me make sure I know where I put the front. All right, I think the front is, well, where that rock is. So that's the front right there, I believe. It's honestly the only place I've got roots right now. So yeah, so the rock would be just about lined up there. That's the front. And it looks pretty good, I think. Of course, I've lost some branching down here that got kind of killed off. I'm hoping that the big wounds, like this one here, will heal up. I know that my wire scars from before I got the tree are finally starting to heal. You may have noticed it got a little darker in here. That's because the sun is going down. So I'm going to zoom back out and do a quick closing up. There we go. I got my screen dirty too. Right, hopefully it's not doing some weird focus stuff. All right. Ooh. So yeah, as I step on all my tools, this is the Wiggly Boy Ficus. I really hope I didn't make a mistake on this one. I love the pot, even though it's quite heavy. Man, it's quite heavy. Of course, the rock doesn't help with that. Oh my gosh, I might take the rock off to move it. Oof. All right, that mistakes have been made here, people. Mistakes have been made. I will take the rock off to move it. It's quite heavy. That's still heavy though. Oof. All right, well, didn't anticipate getting that heavy, but I'm pleased it is. So this is it. I'm going to keep nurturing it. I'm really, really, really hoping that I get some good roots below that, well, the trunk that I cut off. I don't want to rely on just that side root there. And it's planted more deeply this time, as you can tell. Let's see, put it back to, that's about front, I think you guys are looking at. I've got these that are kind of pokers, but I'm not going to mess with those. They're not that bad. Really, the goal is just to have the trunk itself visible, and I can always change the direction it goes in. I can always change it. Let's see. I could always have it more like this. We'll see. I do want to take out the extreme bend of this trunk by however I mount it, so I don't mind that it kind of does some funny stuff because that little turn, as long as I kind of straighten out the trunk a little bit. I would like to keep it this size, so for now it's growing. I'm not going to mess with stuff too much. I cut off a bigger branch here because it was all the way out here and it was very thick. This one will have to be cut off. I didn't get nearly as much back biting as I wanted, but that's okay. Yeah, so like that's a dead branch there. I can take off some dead branches while we're in here. Hopefully you folks can see better than me. So this one's dead. There's another dead one somewhere I know. Up here, up top, there's a dead one. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, that may not be dead. It may just not have any leaves on it. Might be most of it. It may not be dead. It might just not have leaves on it. All right, so maybe I should just stop there. I'll take this little knob off there. Yeah, it's very dead. And I'll let this dry out. Again, I'll put it right in the path of the fan. We'll let it blow. And next time I repot it, I'll get it a little bit straighter. It's very, very offset right now, which I don't mind. It just doesn't have a very good trunk line when it's that offset. Get that good trunk line, I think I've really got to have it viewed from that angle. So I'm going to throw some water through this again, throw the rock back on, throw it back on the shelf. Again, no time that I can say of that I'm definitely going to be moving in, but I might be moving again. Third time this year, if I move this year. And yeah, it would be a good thing for the channel. We'll get some really good content through on big and small trees, applying the principles regardless. And hopefully get some really cool Yamadori sessions with the Virginia Bonsai Society. It may be I ended up having to start my own bonsai club out there, and I'm okay with that. I've got enough oaks and pines in those forests, uh, hawthorns, things like that. Plenty of barberry. I might even be able to start doing like workshops and, having a little sort of, not brick and mortar, but online store for certain things. I'd like to start making my own pots. I'd like to start making my own tools. We'll just have to see where it goes. Right now it is just taking care of the trees that I've got and keeping them alive. So I hope that you all stick around through all that. I hope it's very exciting. Thank you for coming to my Bonsaiverse. I'm Taco. This is hopefully going to be a bonsai someday. And I appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.